every single time you do a training max or like a near maximum lift in the big lifts that's kind of agreed upon, squat, bench, deadlift, overhead press, that kind of thing, every single time you do it, you will kind of get some sort of symptoms from the lift. So where do you fail that lift? Where do you struggle in that lift? Where does the bar slow down in that lift? There are kind of universal sticking points in some of these lifts. That's kind of, leverages and whatnot, mechanical leverages. But every single time you do a lift, just pay attention, record yourself and pay attention where you get stuck or where do you fail that lift. Today, I tried 250 kilo deadlift. Now, yesterday I did a lot of kind of bodyweight squats and I did a lot of squats, whatever, so I was kind of fatigued, but it doesn't really matter. I did 220 kilos, that moved really well. Put 250 and it was as though I was kind of trying to lift a freaking car off the floor. It was just pinned to the floor. I know for a fact that I can move 250 from the knees to the lockout. I know that. I just feel that strong in the upper portion of the lift. So if the bar is not even breaking off the floor, I can safely say that I need more leg drive. I need more legs. Now, in the last week or two or even three, I've been thinking about this. I struggle in kind of the halfway portion of the squat and I struggle off the floor. Are there some common denominators there? What's the common denominator there? I think the common denominator is I don't have enough leg strength. It's funny, isn't it, for somebody that kind of squats every single day for so many days. But you can squat and avoid loading your quads, right? You can pick up speed from the bottom with your glutes and your adductors, and then the point where you need your quads to work, you kind of skip over that because you have momentum, right? We often talk about pause. Pauses are different kind of sticking points. So if you want to work on your quads, it's like a slow eccentric. You pop back up, you stop in the sticking point, you come back up. People always talk about pause lifts or doing block pulls kind of around the knee. If you're kind of struggling with the lockout, that will force you to kind of get into good position, and it will kind of take away that momentum from the lift. So I failed at 250. And the whole time I was thinking, man, I need more legs. So what does that mean? Well, I've been doing the Bulgarian split squats and I've been hitting my legs. Yesterday I also introduced, again, bodyweight squats, and that lit me up like nothing. So I need to continue to work on the weaknesses that I have, which for me, it seems to be quads. Now, the quads have come a long way. I started hitting my quads in the last kind of 2-3 weeks, and I've seen the effects that rapidly. By the way, this is 180, kind of whatever, no thrill lift. Moved okay from memory. So last few weeks I've been working on the quads, and I've hit a PI in the deadlift 240 kilos, and that kind of moved all right. A lot of you guys said, man, you got some more in the tank. So for me, if I can break that bar off the floor, that thing's coming to lockout. You know what I mean? It's coming to lockout unless something silly happens, I kind of round over too much or something, which is usually not the case. For me, if I can't break the bar off the floor, I can't even get to a lockout, obviously. So a lot of you guys have said do deficit deadlifts. That kind of works really well. Work out what deficit you need. Recently I saw a Juji Mufu episode where he went to Dave Tate from Elite FTS, and kind of Dave Tate was telling him what to do, and they were working with deficit deadlifts at certain kind of heights. I think they got up to like 3-4 inches. For Juji Mufu, he's got really long arms and he's got really high flexibility. For me, I don't have any of those things. I don't have long arms, I don't have great flexibility. So for me, I've just been thinking about these Bulgarian split squats, and I've been thinking about more squatting in the higher rep ranges where I kind of hit the quads. So that's kind of what I was thinking today the whole time. Should I have attempted 250? I had doubts where I was going to lift it, but I just wanted to feel it. I want to feel the tension, and I wanted to see on video what it looks like when I failed that lift. And I saw what happened. I tried to lift. You'll see it. It's coming up now. I tried to lift it, and the harder I was pulling, the more I was going away from pushing. So I want to push off the floor, and ended up pulling off the floor. You can just see the shins start to become more and more vertical. And when the shins become more and more vertical, it ends up being a freaking stiff-legged deadlift. So if you can stiff-leg deadlift 250 kilos, if you had the proper technique and you've had the proper muscular balance, and basically if you had more quads, you'd be able to pull that damn thing, even more weight. So it's one of those things, and for yourselves, if you're thinking about whatever lift you're thinking about, you just need to kind of work out what's your weakness, what portion of your lift are you struggling, and just do accessories to target those things. For me, because of squatting every day, my adductors are big. When I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, man, I got big adductors. I got big glutes. My quads are not so big. A lot of you guys are saying, when are you going to show us your legs? My legs are not Tom Platts. My legs are not bodybuilders' legs. My legs are just somebody that's done a lot of squats, and predominantly done a lot of squats kind of with the low repetitions, kind of 1, 2, 3 reps for the large portion of my series here of the squatting every day. It's come up a little bit ever since I've kind of put more attention to it, but I need to work on my quads. Leg extensions have kind of been dropped off because I feel like I've played with them enough to understand that they are great. I love doing them for like a warm up, but I'm not sure whether they're going to take me to the next level. I'm still not certain about what to do with the leg extensions. Like I've said in previous videos, every single time I do them, I feel great. My knees feel great. Everything feels great. It puts the quads on the kind of the brain map. So when I do leg extensions and I go into the squats or deadlifts, I just feel like I'm using my quads more. So I think it's a great activation exercise. Is it going to take me to the next level? I'm not sure. I think the Bulgarian split squats might be that lift for me. Even though the Bulgarian split squats seem to be more glutes than anything. I don't know. I just get DOMs in my glutes, in the lateral glute, glute med, kind of in that glute minimus area. I get lit up there every single time, which is funny, right? Because I'm trying to target the quads, and I end up hitting more glutes. So my body just loves using glutes. And for this lift, 250 kilos, I need more quads to get the damn thing off the floor. So here it is. You can see the bend on the bar. I give it a good old go. It just doesn't want to budge. You can see by the weight on the bar that I kind of lifted the 220 off the floor, but the last 30, the yellow plates didn't want to come off. I don't know. Maybe if I broke form, it would have come up, but it's a funny feeling when you give everything into a bar and it doesn't want to move. I know there's a lot of people who, I don't know what they're called, isometrics or something, where you put the bar in the squat rack and you put them underneath the pins and you're kind of pushing against basically a immovable object, right? You're just kind of creating that tension and you're holding it for like 5 seconds. You kind of want to blow up in your head from the pressure. That's kind of what I felt like with this. It's like, how long can you exert force into a bar? I think as long as you can keep your breath. Eventually you're going to run out of oxygen and you're going to have a breath. And when you take a breath in, there goes your Valsalva maneuver, there goes your bracing, and then you're done. So at the moment I did that, I was really motivated to, do the Bulgarian split squats because I feel like this is what I need to do. I thought about doing the Hex Bar Deadlifts, trying to kind of work on the quads. Been watching some videos of guys doing that. It just feels like a squat to me. It feels like a squat from like the parallel position. So, I mean, it's a nice way of introducing leg drive, but when you go to a straight bar, you're not gonna have that luxury of putting your quads or your knees forward. So I don't know if that's gonna have a direct turnover to that or not. I mean, I've seen guys on the net, man, like pull 1,000 pounds with the Hex bar, the trap bar, and then nowhere near, like not even like 400 or 500 pounds on the straight bar. So I don't know. I guess for that individual, he's got really strong, quads. I don't know what else you target with the trap bar. Mainly quads, I guess. I mean, it depends how you really load it, but 1,000 pounds, I saw a guy do it, skinny guy too, and he didn't have like a 500, not even a 500 pound deadlift. So I'm not sure. It's all about carryover here, right? We're all about, the 3 lifts that we care about. So, it wouldn't hurt me trying it. Actually, the trap bar, I wanted to use it, but it was being used at the time. So maybe next time I go to the gym, I'll give the trap bar or the Hex bar. I don't know what you call it anymore. I believe is there a difference between the two? I'm not sure, but one of those bars, I just want to try them to see. Actually, you can see the guy taking it away from right there as he walked past. So I was actually planning to do it afterwards, but the fella wasn't done, so I just got on with it. But yeah, another day of 60 kilos, Bulgarian split squats. These are moving better and better. My balance is getting better and better. So I'm going to try and progressively overload. I think next time I'll work with 70 kilos. Actually, next time I might take it up to a kind of training max single and then come back down and do some 70s. But that's what I'm doing. I feel like my exercise selection is always 2 or 3 lifts per session. I just really want to get the leg drive going. The leg drive is also highly dependent upon your leverages, man, right? I know my arms are shorter than my wingspan is kind of shorter than my height, but like 2 or 3 centimeters. Some of the greatest deadlifters in the world, like if you see them, man, they've got these long ass arms, man. Like, you know, they're basically starting from a much more mechanically favorable position. Whereas for me, I need to kind of bend over a whole bunch. My back kind of starts closer to the horizontal line. Whereas some people, like if you look at Kayla, what's his name? Kayla, forget the last name. He's got these long ass arms, and he just stands up with it, right? Like it's almost like a leg press, you know. So you know, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. I think Kayla doesn't have the greatest squat compared to his deadlift. So you kind of work with what you got. And you know, if you got short arms, you should be really good at benching. What you guys seeing here. So I should be using this, I guess, disadvantage in the deadlift to my advantage in the bench. So again, here I just ended up doing 40 kilos for a set of 50. The Bilbo method's inspired. I'm not running the Bilbo method. The Bilbo method seems to be a little bit different to mine. You know, the Bilbo set basically is between 50 and I think 40 reps. That's kind of what you start your workout with lightweight, and then you end up doing kind of like your normal routine 8 to 12 reps. You're doing accessories, dips of that nature, stuff of that nature. So for me, I just kind of before this I worked up to a single 100 kilos. I threw that up. And then I stripped the bar back to 40 kilos, and then I set of 50 with 40 kilos, and then I called it a day. And that's kind of that was kind of a whole my benching session. The whole thing took like 5 minutes. I'm trying to tuck these at the end of these sessions because if I just don't have the motivation to dedicate an hour of benching in my training week. It's all about the squat and deadlift. So I try to put in 5 or 10 minutes here and there, a few times a week for the bench press, and give it some love. All right, guys, that's me. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, peace out.